The day everything changed. I remember that morning like it was yesterday. The sun was just peeking through the curtains in my small living room, and I was sipping my coffee, feeling a bit of peace for the first time in a while. My name is Tiah McCreary, and I'm just an ordinary woman from Ohio, trying to make ends meet for my family. But that day, everything fell apart. I heard a knock at the door, loud and insistent. When I opened it, there were two men standing there, looking serious. "Ma'am, we're here to repossess your vehicle," one of them said, holding some papers. My heart dropped. That car, my beautiful 2022 Kia K5, was gone in minutes, just like that. I stood there on the porch, watching them drive it away, feeling like a piece of me was being torn out. How could this happen? I had bought that car only a month ago. I had made my first payment. It was supposed to be a fresh start for me and my kids. But now, it was all gone. Tears welled up in my eyes as I closed the door. I sat down on the couch, my hands shaking. Why me? What had I done wrong? I thought about calling my mom, but she was gone now, passed away a few years back. She would have known what to say. Instead, I just cried quietly, alone in that empty house. As the day went on, I replayed everything in my mind. The dealership, Taylor Kia in Lima, had seemed so friendly at first. The salesman smiled, shook my hand, made me feel like I was making a smart choice. But now, this. Repossessed over some paperwork they said I didn't sign. It didn't make sense. I felt betrayed, like someone had pulled the rug out from under me. That night I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering how I'd get to work, how I'd pick up my grandkids from school. The pain was deep, a quiet ache in my chest. But little did I know, this was just the beginning. Something inside me stirred, a spark of determination. I wasn't going to let them win, not without a fight. But what really happened at the dealership that day? Keep listening to find out. My life before the car. Let me take you back a bit to understand why this hurt so much. I grew up in a small town in Ohio with my parents and two sisters. We didn't have much, but we had each other. My dad worked long hours at a factory, and Mom stayed home, making sure we had hot meals and clean clothes. I remember sitting at the kitchen table, listening to her stories about her own childhood. She always said, "Tiah, family is everything. Hold on to it tight." Those words stuck with me. When I was 18, I met my husband John. He was kind, with a smile that lit up the room. We got married young, had our first child, a boy named Michael. Then came Sarah, and later little Emma. Life was busy, but good. John worked as a mechanic, fixing cars for a living. I took a job at a local store, ringing up groceries and chatting with customers. We saved what we could, dreaming of a better home, maybe a vacation someday. But then, things changed. John got sick. It started with a cough, then doctor visits, and finally, the diagnosis: cancer. We fought it together, but after 2 years, he was gone. I was left alone with 3 kids, heartbroken and scared. I pushed through for them. I took extra shifts, made sure they had what they needed. Michael grew up fast, helping around the house. Sarah was my little helper in the kitchen, and Emma, with her big eyes, always made me laugh. Years passed, and they started their own families. Now I have grandkids, 4 of them. They call me Grandma Tiah, and their hugs are the best part of my days. But money was always tight. My old car, A beat-up sedan from the 90s, finally gave out last year. It broke down on the side of the road, smoke coming from the engine. I knew I needed something reliable. That's when I decided to buy the Kia. Walking into Taylor Kia that February day in 2024 felt like a big step. I had saved a down payment, and with financing, I could afford it. The car was shiny, black, with all the modern features. I test drove it, feeling the smooth ride, imagining taking the grandkids to the park. This is it, I thought. A new beginning. The finance manager, Justin, went over the papers. I signed everything, or so I thought. He was nice, explaining things simply. I drove home that day, proud and happy. For the first time in a long time, I felt like things were looking up. But now, looking back, I wonder if there were signs. Little things, like how rushed the signing felt, or the way Justin glanced away when I asked about the warranty. I didn't think much of it then. I was too excited. My kids were thrilled too. Michael said, "Mom, you deserve this." Sarah helped me clean it out, and Emma drew a picture for the dashboard. Those memories make the loss even harder. How could a company do this to someone like me? Someone just trying to get by. As I sat there after the repossession, I picked up the phone and called my lawyer friend, an old neighbor who knew about these things. "Tiah, this doesn't sound right," he said. "Let's look into it." That conversation gave me hope. But the road ahead was long, filled with papers, calls, and sleepless nights. I felt a quiet anger building, not loud or raging, but steady, like a river wearing down a stone. What did the dealership claim I did wrong? The truth will surprise you. The repossession happened in March 2024, just a few weeks after I bought the car. I had made my first payment on time, through Kia Motors Finance. Everything seemed fine. Then, out of nowhere, the knock on the door. After they took the car, I called the dealership right away. "Why did this happen?" I asked, my voice trembling. The person on the phone was cold. "You didn't sign the arbitration agreement," they said. "We have the right to take it back." Arbitration agreement? I remembered signing a stack of papers, but maybe I missed one. Or perhaps they didn't give it to me. I felt confused and helpless. I went to my files, pulling out the copies I had. There it was, the purchase agreement, but no mention of arbitration standing out. My heart raced as I read through it. This couldn't be right. I had the car title in my name. Or so I thought. But they acted like it was theirs. That week, I barely slept. I took the bus to work, feeling embarrassed when coworkers asked about my car. "Oh, it's in the shop," I lied, not wanting to explain. At home, the kids noticed something was wrong. Sarah came over with dinner one night. "Mom, what's going on?" she asked, sitting beside me. I told her everything, tears flowing. "They took my car, honey. Just took it." She hugged me tight. "We'll figure this out, Mom. You're strong." Her words helped, but the pain lingered. I thought about John, how he would have fixed this. He knew cars inside out. "Tiah, don't let them push you around," he would say. I missed him so much in moments like these. The grandkids asked too. Little Tommy, my oldest grandson, said, "Grandma, where's your new car? Can we go for a ride?" I smiled through the hurt. "Soon, sweetie, soon." I started researching online, late at night when the house was quiet. I learned about consumer rights. Repossession laws in Ohio. It seemed wrong what they did. They couldn't just take it without notice, could they? I found stories of others who fought back. It gave me ideas. Maybe I could sue. But lawsuits cost money, and I didn't have much. Still, I contacted a lawyer, one who took cases like this on contingency. "Let's see what we can do," he said after hearing my story. As the days turned into weeks, the emotional toll grew. I felt violated, like my trust was broken. That car wasn't just metal and wheels. It was my independence, my way to see my family, to live my life. Losing it made me feel small, powerless. But in that weakness, I found a quiet strength. I began documenting everything: calls, emails, papers. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. My family rallied around me during those tough times. Michael, my son, drove me to appointments. "Mom, I'll help you get another car," he said. But I shook my head. "No, I want justice for this one." He nodded, understanding. Sarah brought the grandkids over more often, filling the house with laughter to chase away the sadness. Emma, my youngest, called every day. "Mom, are you okay?" she'd ask. "I'm hanging in there," I'd reply, my voice soft. One evening, we all gathered for dinner. It was simple, spaghetti and salad, but being together meant everything. We talked about the old days, laughed at memories of John. "Remember when Dad fixed that old truck?" Michael said. He was covered in grease, but so proud. We smiled, but the conversation turned to my situation. "What are you going to do, Mom?" Sarah asked. I took a deep breath. "I'm going to fight. They can't get away with this." That night, after everyone left, I sat alone thinking. The hurt was still there, a dull ache, but mixed with it was resolve. I started looking deeper into the dealership. Who were they? How long had they been around? I found their website, saw the name Taylor Kia of Lima. It had been their name since 2012, according to what I read. But something nagged at me. I decided to check the Ohio Secretary of State's website, just out of curiosity. What I found changed everything. The registration for that name had expired. They hadn't renewed it. My mind raced. Could I? No, that seemed too bold. But the idea stuck. I felt a spark of hope mixed with fear. What if I registered it myself? It was a wild thought, but in my quiet moments, it grew. I didn't tell anyone yet. It was my secret plan, born from pain. As I prepared for the legal battle, the emotions swirled. Sadness for what was lost, regret for trusting too easily, but also a calm determination. I knew this would be hard, but I was ready. My family was my anchor, keeping me steady. What secret did I uncover about the dealership's name? You won't believe it. Meeting with the lawyer was eye-opening. His office was small, cluttered with files, but he was kind. "Tia, based on what you've told me, this repossession might be wrongful," he said. "They claim you didn't sign the arbitration clause, but let's see the evidence." We went over the documents. There was a clause, but I remembered signing something similar. Maybe they tricked me. We filed a lawsuit against Taylor Kia, claiming wrongful repossession and seeking damages. The process was slow, with court dates and papers flying back and forth. The dealership fought back, saying I had to go to arbitration first. The lower courts agreed with them, dismissing my case. I felt defeated, like the system was against me. "How can this be?" I asked my lawyer. "We'll appeal," he said. "Don't give up." During this time, I kept digging. That's when I confirmed the name registration lapse. It had expired years ago. In Ohio, business names need to be renewed every 5 years. They forgot or didn't bother. In April 2025, I took the step. I registered Taylor Kia of Lima in my name. It was simple. Online form, small fee. When it went through, I felt a rush. Now I owned their name. I didn't stop there. I sent a cease-and-desist letter, telling them to stop using it. "You are infringing on my registered trade name," I wrote. It was calm, factual. No anger, just truth. Their response? They sued me, trying to get it back. The battle was on. Through it all, I stayed calm. No shouting, no drama. Just quiet persistence. My family worried. "Mom, is this safe?" Sarah asked. "It is," I said. "It's right." The court hearings were tense. Lawyers argued, judges listened. In July 2025, the appeals court ruled. They said the dealership couldn't claim the name without registration. It was mine. Justice, finally. But the story isn't over. The emotional journey continued. The quiet revenge begins. The discovery that changed everything. Those weeks after the repossession were some of the hardest. I would wake up in the morning, look out the window where my car used to sit, and feel that emptiness all over again. It wasn't just about the car. It was about feeling tricked, feeling small. But one night, as I sat at my kitchen table with a cup of tea gone cold, I decided to dig deeper. I wasn't going to just accept this. I started searching online for anything that could help. Laws about car sales, repossessions, consumer rights. My eyes burned from staring at the screen, but I kept going. That's when I found it. Something small, almost hidden in the details. The dealership's name, Taylor Kia of Lima, wasn't properly registered anymore. They had been using it since 2012, but the trade name registration with the Ohio Secretary of State had lapsed. It was canceled because they never renewed it. My heart started beating faster. Could this be real? I double-checked, going through the official website. Yes, it was true. The name was available. Anyone could register it. I sat back in my chair, staring at the screen. A thought crept in, quiet at first. What if I registered it myself? It felt bold, almost crazy, but the hurt was still there, fresh and raw. They took something from me without warning. Maybe this was a way to take something back, not out of anger, but out of fairness. I didn't sleep much that night. My mind raced with possibilities, with fears. What would my family say? What would happen if I did this? The next day, I talked to my lawyer again. "Is this possible?" I asked him, my voice soft. He paused, then said, "Yes, Tiah. In Ohio, if a trade name isn't renewed, it's up for grabs." He warned me it could lead to more fights, more court. But something in me had shifted. That spark of determination grew stronger. I felt a quiet calm settle over me. This wasn't about shouting or hating. It was about standing up in my own way. Would I really go through with registering their name? The answer might surprise you. It took a few days to decide. I prayed about it, talked to Sarah over the phone. "Mom, are you sure?" she asked, worry in her voice. "I am," I said. "It's not revenge, honey. It's just righting a wrong." She understood. My kids always have. In April 2025, I filled out the form online. It was simple, a few clicks, a small fee. I registered Taylor Kia of Lima in my name. When the confirmation came through, I just sat there, tears in my eyes. Not happy tears, not sad ones, just release. Now the name was mine, legally. They had used it for years, built their business around it, but they forgot to take care of the paperwork. And I didn't. I didn't celebrate. No big party, no telling everyone right away. It felt private, personal, but I knew I had to do more. If I just held the name and did nothing, it wouldn't matter. So I wrote a letter, a cease and desist. Calm words, no threats, just facts. You are using a name now registered to me. Please stop. I sent it to them, my hands steady. Then I waited. The house felt quieter those days. The grandkids came over, filling the rooms with noise and joy. Little Tommy asked again about the car. "Grandma, when can we ride in your new one?" I hugged him tight. "Soon, baby. Things are getting better." I believed it deep down. The dealership didn't respond right away, but I knew they got it. How could they not? Their signs, their ads, their everything, built on a name that wasn't theirs anymore. I felt a mix of emotions. Regret that it had come to this, sadness for the trust lost, but also a quiet strength. I wasn't the same woman who drove off the lot excited about a new car. Life had hardened me a bit, but in a good way. Long after the letter, things heated up. They sued me. Taylor Cadillac, the parent company, came back strong. They wanted the name back, said I had no right. They pointed to the papers I signed when buying the car, the arbitration agreement. Any disputes go to arbitration, they said, not court. My case got dismissed at first, sent to arbitration. I felt that old helplessness creep in. Why does it always feel like the big guys win? But my lawyer fought. We appealed. The name issue has nothing to do with the car sale, he argued. It's separate. I went to meetings, read papers I didn't fully understand. Nights were long again. I thought about John, how he hated unfairness. "Stand your ground, Tiah," he'd say. I did. For me, for my family. My grandkids kept me going. Emma drew me a picture of a car with Grandma's Kia on it. I laughed through tears. Sarah brought meals. Michael fixed things around the house. "We're proud of you, Mom," he said one evening, sitting with me on the porch. "This takes guts." His words warmed me. Family is my rock. Then, in July 2025, the news came. The appeals court ruled in my favor on the name part. The repossession dispute might go to arbitration, but the name? That stayed in court. It wasn't subject to their agreement because it had nothing to do with buying the Kia. I read the decision over and over. A small win, but it felt huge. Justice, peeking through. But the dealership wasn't done fighting. What happened next tested everything. The legal back and forth dragged on. Hearings, filings, waiting. I drove to court in borrowed cars, dressed in my best clothes, heart pounding. The dealership's lawyers were sharp, professional. They argued long use gave them rights, even without registration. Trademark stuff, common law. I listened quietly, feeling out of place in that courtroom. But I spoke when I needed to, calmly. "They took my car while I was at work," I said once, voice steady. "No warning. I just want fairness." The judge nodded, but said little. Emotions ran deep. Regret for trusting them. Sadness for the stress on my family. But no anger. Just resolve. Outside court, life went on. I got a used car eventually. Nothing fancy. Enough to get around. The grandkids loved rides to the park. "Grandma's driving again," they'd cheer. Those moments healed me. I reflected a lot. Life teaches hard lessons. Trust carefully. Stand up when needed. The case got attention. Articles online. People talking. Some called it revenge. I didn't see it that way. It was consequences. They slipped on paperwork. I didn't. Simple as that. As 2025 ended, things were still unresolved. The name stayed mine, for now. They kept using it, but the fight continued. I felt tired, but peaceful. Whatever happened, I had fought. Looking back now, from where I sit today, in early 2026, I see how far I've come. The hurt from losing the car faded, replaced by growth. I learned about strength, the quiet kind. Not loud protests, but steady steps. My family grew closer. We talk more, share more. The grandkids ask about the story sometimes. I tell them softly. Grandma stood up for what's right. They nod, big eyes wide. The lesson? Life isn't always fair, but you can make it fairer. Check details, protect yourself, and when wronged, respond with grace and action, not hate. The court battles may go on. The dealership is still open, using the name. But something shifted. In me. In how I see the world. But then, a new twist came in late 2025. Everyone was watching. What would happen next? Keep listening. Spot. The turning point and quiet victory. As the months dragged on into late 2025, I found myself in a strange place. The name Kia of Lima was mine on paper, but the fight wasn't over. The dealership kept using it every day. Their signs, their ads, their website. It felt odd, knowing I held this piece of them, born from my pain. I didn't gloat. How could I? The car was still gone, and the hurt lingered like a shadow in my heart. I spent many evenings on the porch, watching the sunset, thinking about everything. My grandkids would play in the yard, their laughter pulling me back. "Grandma, tell us a story," they'd say. I'd smile and tell them about simpler times, skipping the hard parts. Inside, though, the emotions swirled. Regret for trusting so easily. Sadness for the independence lost. But also a growing peace. I had stood up, not with noise, but with action. My lawyer called often. "They're pushing hard," he'd say, "but we're holding ground." The repossession part might go to arbitration, but the name? That was different, separate. I clung to that hope. Then, in July 2025, the phone rang with news that changed it all. Everyone was watching. What would the court say? Keep listening to find out. The appeals court decision. It was a warm July morning in 2025 when my lawyer called. "Tia," he said, his voice steady but excited. "We won the appeal." My hands trembled as he explained. The Third District Court of Appeals ruled that the name dispute didn't belong in arbitration. It had nothing to do with the car purchase or that agreement I signed. The claim over Kia of Lima could go back to regular court. I sat down, tears coming softly. Not big sobs, just quiet release. After all the waiting, the dismissals, this felt like light breaking through clouds. The judges saw it clearly. One thing was the car. Another was the name they forgot to protect. I didn't cheer. It wasn't full justice yet, but it was a step. a big one. I called Sarah right away. "Mom, that's amazing," she said, her voice full of pride. Michael texted, "You did it, Mom. Proud of you." The grandkids didn't understand the details, but they felt my smile that day. We had ice cream to celebrate, simple and sweet. The news spread online. Articles called it revenge, but to me, it was fairness. Consequences for carelessness. They took my car suddenly. I took steps carefully, legally. No hate in my heart, just resolve. With the ruling, emotions peaked. Relief washed over me, but so did memories. I thought back to driving home in that Kia, feeling hopeful. Now the case headed to Common Pleas Court. More waiting, more hearings. But I felt stronger, quieter inside. Nights were better, less tossing and turning. I reflected on growth. Life had knocked me down before, losing John, raising kids alone. This was another test, and I was passing, in my way. Family gatherings felt warmer. We talked openly. "Grandma's fighting the big guys," little Emma said once, eyes wide. I hugged her. "Not fighting, sweetie, just standing tall." The dealership stayed open, business as usual. But now questions hung over them. Customers might wonder. I didn't wish them harm, just accountability. As fall turned to winter, I prepared for what came next. The full case ongoing, no end yet. But that July decision, it was the turning point. A moment betrayal started turning to quiet strength. As we entered 2026, the courts are still deciding. But what I've learned along the way, that's the real story. Stay with me. Looking back, the betrayal hurt deepest at first. Trust given, then shattered. A company, big and powerful, against one woman trying to get by. But I turned it inward to fuel persistence. No loud revenge, just calm steps. I thought about forgiveness, not yet full, but softening. Holding anger tires the soul. I focused on my life, family, small joys. The new used car, reliable enough. Drives to see the kids. Laughter filling the empty spots. People online shared my story. Some cheered, some questioned. I stayed quiet, private. This was my journey. The lesson grew clear. Check the details. Protect what's yours. And when wronged, respond with grace. Strength isn't always loud. Here we are, early 2026. The case continues in court. No final word on the name or the repossession. The dealership operates still. But something shifted forever. In the law, maybe. Definitely in me. I feel hope now. Warm, steady. For closure, whatever it brings. For my family, watching me endure. If you're going through hard times, know this. Pain can lead to growth. Betrayal to quiet revenge. Not harm, but justice. Stand up, softly but surely. This was my true story. One of loss, discovery, and quiet victory. Thank you for listening. If this touched you, if you stayed hooked through the twists and heartaches, please like, share, and subscribe for more real-life stories like Grandma's. We all have battles. May yours end with peace. A new year, an unfinished story. Here we are, in the quiet of early 2026. The snow falls softly outside my window some days, covering everything in a gentle white. I sit with my tea, thinking back on the past 2 years. So much has happened since that day they took my car. The pain has softened now, like an old scar that aches only when the weather changes. But the lessons, those stay clear and strong in my heart. I never imagined my story would touch so many people. Articles came out, people shared it online. Some called it revenge. I still don't see it that way. It was just me, standing up when I felt pushed down, quietly, legally, with no raised voices or hard feelings. Just fairness. The appeals court decision in July 2025 was a turning point. They sent the name part back to the regular court. The repossession claims might go to arbitration, but the name Kia of Lima, that stays in open court. It's ongoing still. No final word yet. The dealership keeps operating, using the name. Lawyers file papers, hearings come and go. But I feel at peace with it. My family has been my light. Sarah calls often, checking in. "Mom, how are you holding up?" she'd ask, her voice warm. "I'm good, honey," I'd say. And I mean it. Michael helps with whatever needs fixing, always practical. The grandkids, they keep me young. Tommy and the others run in, flee of stories from school. "Grandma, did you win yet?" little Emma asked one day, hugging my leg. I knelt down, smiling softly. "Winning isn't always about the end, sweetie. It's about trying." We gather more now. Holidays feel fuller. We talk about John sometimes, how he'd be proud. He always said to fight fair. Michael reminded me once. Yes, he did. And that's what I've tried to do. I got a simple car last year. Nothing fancy, just reliable. It gets me to the store, to visits. The grandkids love our drives. "Play that song again, Grandma," they say. They'd beg. Those moments heal the old hurts. When the news spread in summer 2025, it surprised me. Headlines about an Ohio woman taking a dealership's name. People wrote comments, shared opinions. Some cheered, some wondered. I stayed quiet. Didn't give interviews. This is personal, my life. But knowing others felt inspired, that warmed me. Maybe someone else facing unfairness found a bit of courage from it. The court saw the difference. The car sale and the name, they're separate. One from a mistake in paperwork, maybe. The other from carelessness over years. Life teaches us to pay attention to details. They didn't renew. I did. Simple as that. No anger toward the people at the dealership. Just sadness it came to this. Trust broken on both sides, perhaps. But holding grudges weighs heavy. I've let much of it go. These years changed me. I learned quiet strength is real strength. You don't need to shout to be heard. Standing firm, with kindness, gets you far. Forgiveness came slowly. Not full yet, but closer. For them, for the situation. Mostly for myself, for trusting too quick. We all make choices. Mine led here. The case goes on in 2026. Maybe resolution soon, maybe not. Either way, I've grown. Found parts of me I didn't know were there. Determination, patience, hope. If I could tell my younger self something, it'd be, life knocks you down sometimes, but you get up, with family, with grace. As I look ahead, I feel hope, warm and steady. For my kids, my grandkids, for whatever comes next in court. For peace, whatever the outcome. This was my true story. From loss to discovery, from hurt to quiet resolve. Not perfect, not dramatic, just real. Thank you for staying with me through it all. If this touched your heart, if you felt the emotions along the way, please like, share, and subscribe for more grandma stories. Real lives, real lessons. We all face hard times. May you find your quiet strength too. And remember, be kind to yourself. Check the details. Hold family close. There's always hope on the other side. The journey continues into 2026. January 2026 came in quietly. Snow on the ground. The house warm with the smell of coffee in the morning. I looked out at the new year and felt a calm I hadn't known before. The fight with the dealership isn't over. The courts are still working on it. The name Taylor Kia of Lima is registered to me, but they're still using it. Hearings might come later this year. Maybe a decision, maybe not. But the hurt from losing that car, it's faded now. Like an old photo, edges soft. I don't wake up thinking about it anymore. Life has moved on, and so have I. I think about that day in March 2024 often. The repo men at the door, the empty spot in the driveway. It felt like the end of something, but really it was a beginning. A push to learn, to stand up. That ruling in July 2025 meant a lot. The appeals court said the name fight doesn't have to go to arbitration. It's separate from the car sale. Back to the common pleas court it went. My lawyer smiled when he told me. "This is good, Tiah," he said. I nodded, feeling a quiet relief. People called it revenge. Headlines everywhere. But to me, it was just doing what was right. They forgot to renew. I didn't. Simple. I never wanted harm, just fairness. Maybe get my car back, or some peace. The repossession part, that might still go to arbitration. We'll see. But the name? That's in open court now. These days, my life is simple. I drive my little used car to the store, to church, to see the family. The grandkids pile in the back, chattering away. "Grandma, tell us about the dealership again," Tommy says sometimes. I laugh softly. "Not today, sweetie. Let's talk about your school play." Sarah and Michael check in often. "Any news from court?" they'd ask. "Not yet," I'd say, "but I'm okay." And I am. Evenings, I sit with a book or watch the birds at the feeder. Think about John. He'd be proud, I know. "You didn't back down," he'd say. Friends ask about the story. "How's the big fight going?" I smile. It's going. Life's more than that now. This journey taught me so much about trust, about checking things twice, about how big companies can slip up too. I learned strength comes quiet. No need for loud words, just steady steps. Forgiveness, it's coming, not forgetting. But letting go of the bitterness, it doesn't serve me anymore. Family is everything. They held me up when I felt low. And hope, it's always there, even in waiting. The case goes on. Maybe this year brings an end. Maybe not. Either way, I've won in ways that matter most. If you're listening and facing something hard, a loss, a betrayal, unfairness, know you're not alone. It hurts deep at first, but time, family, and small actions heal. Stand up if you can, calmly, kindly, but stand. Check the papers, protect yourself, and hold on to hope. This is my true story, still unfolding, but full of light now. Thank you for walking this path with me. If it moved you, if you felt the quiet emotions, please like, share, and subscribe for more real grandma stories. We all have chapters like this. May yours turn to peace. Take care. Hold your loved ones close. Waiting for justice in a new year. It's January now, 2026. The holidays came and went quietly. Lights on the tree, laughter from the grandkids, simple gifts wrapped with love. I sat by the fire one evening, watching the flames dance, and realized how far I've come since that painful day in 2024. The car is long gone, but the lessons? They stay with me every day. The court case is still going on. No big news since that appeals ruling back in July 2025. The judges sent the name part back to the local court. It's separate from the repossession fight. My lawyer says we're waiting for the next steps. Hearings, maybe. Decisions down the road. The dealership keeps using the name. Life goes on for them too. I don't check the news much anymore. No need to stir up old feelings. The hurt has turned soft, like a memory that doesn't sting as much. I remember getting that call about the appeals court. My heart skipped. They saw it clear. The name issue isn't tied to the car papers I signed. It's its own thing, born from their forgotten renewal. I registered it fair and square. That felt like a breath of fresh air after holding it in so long. People wrote about it everywhere, called it clever or revenge. I just saw it as standing my ground. No yelling, no harm wished, just using the rules they forgot. Sarah asked me once, "Mom, do you think it'll end soon?" I shrugged softly, maybe, but I'm okay either way now. My days are full in good ways. Mornings with coffee, watching birds at the feeder. Afternoons with the grandkids when they visit. Tommy learning to read, showing me his books. Emma drawing pictures, always with bright colors. "This one's for you, Grandma," she'd say, handing me a page full of flowers and hearts. I drive my little car without worry now. It gets me where I need, to the store, to family dinners. Michael fixed a rattle in it last week. "Good as new, Mom," he grinned. Evenings, I read or call old friends, talk about simple things, weather, recipes, grandkids' antics. The big stuff fades when you focus on the small joys. This all started with betrayal. Trust broken over a car. But it led to growth I never expected. I learned about laws I didn't know, about standing up quietly, about letting go of bitterness. Forgiveness came bit by bit. Not for them, at first. For me. Holding pain too long wears you down. I choose peace now. Family pulled closer. We share more. Laugh more. John's memory feels warmer, not sad. And hope, it's strong. Whatever the court says, I've already won inside. Life isn't about big wins. It's about enduring with grace, helping others when you can. Loving, fierce. As I sit here today, the story feels complete in my heart. The courts may add chapters, but mine, it's one of quiet strength. If you're hurting from something unfair, know this: time heals. Actions matter. Kindness to yourself most of all. Check details in life. Protect your peace. Hold family tight. This was my true story. Real, raw, resolved in its own way. Thank you for listening all this time, for staying through the heartaches and hopes. If it touched you, please like, share, and subscribe for more grandma stories. True lives, true hearts. Be gentle with yourself. There's always light ahead. Take care now. Hope in the waiting. It's January 2026 now. The new year started soft, with frost on the windows and a fresh blanket of snow outside. I wake up most mornings feeling grateful. Grateful for my family, for the small things, for the strength I've found along the way. The court case with the dealership is still there, hanging in the background. No big changes since that appeals court ruling last summer. The name part is back in the local court, waiting for the next steps. The repossession claims might head to arbitration, but honestly, it doesn't weigh on me like it used to. I think about how far this journey has taken me. From that heartbreaking day in 2024 when they took my car, to registering the name, to fighting in court. It all feels like a distant chapter now. The pain has turned into something else. Understanding, maybe. Acceptance. That appeals decision in July 2025 was important. The judges saw it clearly. The fight over the name isn't tied to the car papers or the arbitration agreement. It's separate. Born from their oversight, not from my purchase. It gave me a sense of validation, like someone finally listened. People read about it, shared the story, called it clever, or even revenge. But for me, it was never about getting even. It was about fairness. About not letting something wrong just slide by. My lawyer says we're prepared for whatever comes next. Hearings, maybe decisions this year, but I'm not holding my breath. Life is too full for that. What keeps me grounded is my family. Sarah and Michael visit often, bringing the grandkids. The house fills with noise, running feet, stories from school, requests for cookies. Tommy asked the other day, "Grandma, did you get your car back yet?" I smiled and pulled him close. "Not yet, buddy, but Grandma's okay. I've got all of you." We had a quiet Christmas, lights on the tree, homemade dinner, sharing old memories of John. He would have loved seeing me stand tall through this. "That's my Tiah," he'd say with that proud grin. "My little car gets me around just fine." Trips to the park, to church, to lunch with friends. Simple drives that feel like freedom. This whole thing taught me deep lessons. About trusting, but verifying. About how mistakes happen. Mine, theirs. About quiet persistence over loud fights. I've forgiven a lot. Not everything, not yet. But the bitterness, it's gone. It doesn't serve me. Peace does. I feel stronger now. Calmer. Wiser. Life's trials do that, if you let them. The dealership is still open, using the name. Customers come and go. Life moves on for everyone. Looking ahead into 2026, I carry hope. For resolution, maybe, but more for continued peace, whatever the courts decide. If there's a lesson in my story, it's this. When life feels unfair, don't break. Bend a little, then stand straight. Act with calm and care. Check the details. Lean on family. Let time soften the edges. Betrayal hurts, but it can lead to unexpected strength. Quiet revenge isn't about harm. It's about justice done right. This has been my true story. Real, ongoing, but full of heart. Thank you for listening through every part, every emotion. If it resonated, if it brought a tear or a smile, please like, share, and subscribe for more grandma stories. Lives like ours, with hope at the end. Hold your loved ones close. Be kind to your heart. There's always tomorrow. Goodbye for now. Peace in the new year, January 2026, has been kind so far. The days are short, the nights long and quiet. I wake up to the sound of birds at the feeder, make my coffee, and sit by the window, watching the world go by. It's been almost 2 years since that day they took my car. Time moves slow when you're healing. but it does move. The court case is still there. Quiet for now. After that appeals ruling back in July 2025, a name part went back to the local court. No big hearings yet. My lawyer says things take time. The dealership is open, using the name like always. But on paper, it's mine. That feels strange sometimes. Not triumphant. Just fair. I don't think about it every day anymore. The hurt has settled into something softer. A reminder, not a wound. I remember the excitement of driving that Kia home. The shine of it, a new car smell. How proud I felt. Then the knock on the door. The empty driveway. Tears that night. But from there, I found something in myself. Courage I didn't know I had. Registering the name wasn't about hurting them. It was about not letting go without trying. Sending that letter, filing the papers, appealing when it got dismissed. The judges saw it. The name fight is separate, not tied to the car papers. That ruling felt like a deep breath after holding it too long. People read about it, shared it. Some saw revenge. I saw consequences. They forgot to renew. I paid attention. My kids and grandkids are my world. Sarah brings soup on cold days. "Mom, you're quieter now," she says, in a good way. Michael fixes little things around the house. The grandkids run in, full of energy. "Grandma, play with us." Their hugs chase away any leftover shadows. We talk about John more these days. How he'd laugh at parts of this. "You always were stubborn in the right way, Tiah," he'd say. I miss him, but the missing is gentle now. My little car is enough. It takes me to them. That's all I need. This journey showed me truth. Betrayal stings, but it doesn't have to define you. Stand up calmly. Check the small things. They matter. Trust, but look close. Forgiveness came on its own. Not for them first. For me. Letting go of the weight. Strength isn't loud. It's showing up, day after day, with grace. The case may go on. Maybe end this year. Maybe not. But inside, it's resolved. I've grown, found peace. As the snow falls outside, I feel hope. Real, quiet hope. For my family. For tomorrow. If you're listening and carrying something heavy, know this. Pain passes. You find your way. With love. With time. Hold close what's real. Family. Kindness. Yourself. This was my true story. From loss to quiet strength. Thank you for walking it with me. If it touched you, if you felt the heart in it, please like, share, and subscribe for more grandma stories. Real lives, full of hope. Be good to your heart. There's light ahead, always. Light in the quiet days, January 2026 feels different. The air is cold, but my heart is warmer. I look back at the past 2 years and see how much has changed. Not just the court things, but me. The woman who stood on the porch watching her car drive away, she's still here, but stronger now, quieter, more at peace. The case is ongoing. After that big appeals court ruling in July 2025, the name part went back to the local court in Allen County. No new big decisions yet. The dealership is still open, still using the name. My lawyer checks in sometimes. "We're waiting," he says. I nod. Waiting doesn't scare me anymore. I don't follow the news about it much. The story spread far last year. Articles, people talking, but life is here. in the everyday. That appeals court moment still brings a soft smile. They said the name fight isn't part of the car papers. It's separate, not tied to arbitration. Back to open court it went. It felt right, fair. I didn't do it for headlines, just for what was mine to do. They overlooked something small. I saw it, acted calm. Sarah says, "Mom, you're famous now." I laugh quietly. "No, honey, just a grandma who didn't give up." The repossession hurt deep once. Now, it's a story I tell with less pain. Mornings, I make tea and watch the snow if it falls. The grandkids visit, bundling up in coats. "Grandma, build a snowman?" Tommy asks, eyes bright. We do. Laughter echoes in the yard. My little car starts every time. Takes me to them, to the store. To quiet drives where I think. Evenings with Michael and Sarah. We eat together, talk soft. About life, about John. "He'd be cheering you on," Michael says. I know. Friends call. "Any update?" I say, "Not much, but I'm good." This path showed me real things. Trust is precious. Details matter. Strength grows in quiet places. I forgave what I could. The rest, I released. No room for heavy hearts. Family held me, still does. Their love is my anchor. The courts will decide one day. Maybe soon, maybe later. But I've already found my peace. Hope lives here, in small moments, in tomorrow. If you're carrying hurt, unfairness, loss, breathe deep. It softens with time. Stand if you can, gently, with heart. Check what matters. Love fierce. Let go when ready. This is my true story. Still writing itself, but beautiful now. Thank you for being here, listening to every part, for feeling it with me. If it brought warmth or hope, please like, share, and subscribe for more grandma stories. Real hearts, real journeys. Hold close to hope. It's always there. Take care. A story without end, but full of heart. Early January 2026 now. The holidays are behind us, and the world feels fresh again. Snow covers the ground some mornings, and I sit with my coffee, looking out at it all. So much time has passed since that day in 2024 when my car was taken. The pain from back then, it's mostly gone. Just a soft memory now, like an old letter tucked away. The court case is still going on. That big win in the appeals court last July 2025 sent the name part back to the local court in Allen County. It's separate from the repossession claims. No new rulings yet. The dealership keeps using the name. My lawyer says these things take time. I believe him. Waiting doesn't feel heavy anymore. I think about how the story spread last summer. Articles everywhere. People talking about it. Some saw it as revenge. To me, it was always about fairness. About standing up when something felt wrong. Let me remember it one more time, softly. Buying that Kia in February 2024 felt like a new start. Driving home, excited. Then, a month later, the repossession. No warning, just gone. The hurt was real, deep. But in looking for answers, I found that the name Taylor Kia of Lima wasn't renewed with the state. It was available, so I registered it, sent a letter asking them to stop using it. Calm, legal. They fought back, pointing to papers I signed. But the appeals court saw it different. The name fight isn't tied to the car sale. It can stay in court. That felt like justice peeking through. Not full yet, but enough to keep hope alive. These days, my world is simple and good. Family visits fill the house with joy. The grandkids grow so fast. Tommy reading his books to me. Emma with her drawings. Always something bright. "Grandma, you're my hero," she said once. I hugged her tight. "No, sweetie. Just a grandma who loves you." Sarah and Michael are my strength. We talk about everything now. Laugh about the old days. Remember John with smiles, not just tears. My little car gets me around. To them, to quiet places where I think. Life feels full. Friends ask sometimes, "Any news?" I say, "Not much, but I'm at peace." The quiet lessons. This long road taught me things I'll carry always. Trust is important, but check the details. Stand up for yourself, but do it with calm. No need for anger when truth is on your side. Forgiveness found its way in, slowly, for the situation, for everyone involved. Holding on to hurt only hurts you more. Strength comes quiet, from family, from hope, from getting up each day. The courts will decide when they're ready. Maybe this year, maybe later. But I've already found my resolution. Growth, peace, a final word of hope. As I look out at this new year, I feel grateful for the hard times that led to better ones. For the love that held me through. If you're listening and going through something tough, loss, unfairness, waiting, hold on. It gets softer. You get stronger. There's light even in the unknown. Check what matters. Love deeply. Be kind to your heart. This is my true story. Ongoing, real, and full of quiet hope. Thank you for staying with me through all 10 parts. For feeling the emotions, the weights, the small wins. If it touched you, if it brought a moment of reflection, please like, share, and subscribe for more grandma stories. Real lives, real hearts. We all have our journeys. May yours lead to peace. Take care now. Hold hope close, always.